Here with Mark Zaror, Marko Zaror, the star of Affinity. Glad to have you back on the show. Talked to you about a month or two ago about Diablo, and I noticed with this, so you got this with Diablo, you got your director Ernesto Espinosa is the editor. You got Brandon Slagle, who I'm a fan of, and Louis Mandalore. This is like you got everyone together. I feel, and I know this isn't the case, but I feel like, hey, let's get everyone together Eric loves and make a movie
Oh,
with. But
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, no, this one is a movie that I had in my plans to do a long time ago. This is a script that I had years ago, and then it kind of fell through, and then after John Wick, kind of the producer came back and said, let's make it happen. And that's how it came out. It's like this started from an idea of a story that I had. I'm a big fan of that taken feeling, like you're following the character all the time and you're discovering and you're connecting the dots to get to the objective. And I always thought about this theme that was very attractive for me about the technology and how we're creating basically life, as it could be as a robot, an AI, or cloning. So, but the big question is what's going to happen with affinity, with the affinity between two human beings that is created with conversation, with actions, So you can replicate, but can you replicate that affinity? That's the big question. And I had this on mind. It's like how I can present this conflict in a martial arts action movie. And that was the challenge of this story. And that's how this movie came to life, basically.
yeah. And last time I talked to you, you recommended a movie called Departures. And I wouldn't say Affinity's like Departures or night and day, but there's similar kind of themes and kind of beauty and sort of human moments in it. What's kind of I don't even know what the question is, but watching Departures, I kind of got an insight into how you kind of think or how you view movies and art, and what's kind of the connection between Departures and something like Affinity.
You just said it, the humanity, like understanding that as humans, we are unique and each of us has our own journey, and we need our our goal or mission, or I don't know, say it's like, why are we here, like that big question, right? So in Departures we see this guy that connects with that once he abandoned his passion, and then he starts working close to death, and that connection with death, you know s- change his life, and then that make him go back to his passion, that is playing the cello, right? So in Affinity, we also touch that same theme. Is like this guy has a past trauma, and through love, he connects again with life. And then when this girl is taken out, disappears. He needs to find himself again. And when he understands where she comes from, then there's a big question. It's, you cannot take this out of me, because what I experienced with her and what we live together is true. No matter if you think you create, you cannot replicate something that the experience that connect us, that affinity that was created. So both movies touch on that humanity, of understanding who you are, passion, love, or whatever. So I think that's the connection that I see, that sensibility in human relationships.
Yeah. And another thing I really like about Affinity is the fighting, or not the fighting style, but the way the fighting was shot in this. It reminds me a lot of that Roadhouse remake where the camera's just kind of like it it's very strange, but it looks cool. It's like really hyper focused on what's going on at the moment. How was that shot?
Yeah, I wanted to create, to stay, honest to the story that we were telling, and to try to stay through Bruno the whole time. And so people can experience that adrenaline from him, It's being able to be effective with the scenes, with the fight scenes, be and without taking the audience from the story. So the choreography was very down to the point, not too much flashy things. Trying to make that mixed because we're still making a movie. We're telling you want to entertain, but we don't want to take away the audience from the objective. And that's how we want to be clear. We want to be, to the point and be effective and to feel the urgency of the character. So that's why it's very from him.
Yeah. And I mentioned earlier, like you got Brandon Slagle, Ernesto Espinosa, yourself, Louis Mandalore. These kind of movies are movies that I just totally dig. And I start to notice like a bunch of like similar people both in front of the screen and behind the scene. And you guys seem to have there seems to be like a group of people, not unlike a band. You got the bass player, guitar
Mhm.
player, so on. Do you guys just like go to a barbecue and just a couple of you pull off to the side once in a while and go, "Hey, I got this cool idea for a movie. Yeah, sounds good. Let's do it next Tuesday or whatever." Is that that's kind of how I imagine it goes off.
Yeah. No, oh yeah. Me and Ernesto been friends since kids. We grew up together. We started our career together with the movie Kiltro. Then we did our Chilean movies, Mirage Man, Mandrill, Redeemer, The Fist of the Condor. So we have a long way with Ernesto, and a lot of the stuff that I've learned in filmmaking was because of him, his passion for movies, and he's a very strong element in my career. Like he helps me with character development. He helps me with, put together, a movie. In this case, Affinity. He was supposed to direct the movie, but then timing things, it didn't work. But he helped me on all the post-production process. Like he was the one helping me close the movie, like to finalize the movie, editing and picking the music, working with the composer, working with the VFX people, to create this world. And it's because it was pretty much a vision that I had long time ago that I wanted to tell, and it started because his influence, right? The movies that he showed me and the movies that we used to watch together and we like a lot of Asian cinema, David Lynch kind of atmospheres, like Takashi Miike's kind of like mystery or characters or weirdness, and all those elements were part of this movie that, I wanted to create this story.
Yeah. Nice. If you ever have a part coming up for a Doughy podcaster, I'm available. Affinity comes out September 30th. And what do you got coming up in the future? Because I'm a huge fan of yours and I want to see everything you do.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. I have a movie, Dancing in the Ring, is a boxing movie about a real life Chilean boxer that fought the world title against Joe Louis. It's a historical kind of moment for Chile, and that's my like Rocky movie. First time to be able to box in a movie, and it's a romance. It's not so much action, but it's a very beautiful story.
Nice. Marco, thanks for joining me and congratulations on the movie again. And also, yeah, big fan. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Thanks for the support, man.
All right.